Hey guys, this is Zayarts, and welcome to the first of a series of videos about my comic process. First, I begin by thumbnailing all of the pages in the book. This process is strenuous, but the final result of seeing all of your pages is definitely worth it. I then begin by turning all of the thumbnails into actual pages by turning them into the Clip Studio, comic book manga files. This is a strenuous process too because I haven't necessarily found out a way to do anything differently from this. This is probably the quickest way in my opinion. Basically what I do is I just copy each thumbnail and then I paste them into a manga style file for Clip Studio, and then I upgrade or I change the size of the page so I can see it. So, as you can see right here. After that, I begin by refining certain areas that I feel like that needs more detail. This is where you can go and edit certain things out and edit certain things in that you want to be in the book. Just replace certain things to make it look good before you start the inking process. You don't necessarily want to treat this process as the inking process. This is more of a, I guess you could say, preamble to that. It's really just to get all the finer details in before you start inking, so you can make it easier for yourself when you do start inking. Again, this is also where you can refine things, get certain shapes out that you don't want in, and then just make it easier for yourself before you start inking. Now, here's where the fun part comes in, the inking. Okay, so you see those X's under Star Hex's neck, where his collar is? Those X's are specifically there to help me understand where the really deep, dark black inks need to be. So in a way, it's kind of like a cheat sheet, I guess you could say. And as you see on this page right here, you can see under his neck and where his shoulder is, you can see exactly where the spotted black inks are. Also, I like to add a thick outline to the characters just to make them stand out more. I've heard somewhere on the internet, probably somewhere on YouTube somewhere, where just you want to keep in mind of the line weights. And here's an example of that. You want to make it, you want to start with your inks being thick and then start with a really thin, end with a really thin taper. It just makes it look better. You also want to take into account where the light sources are, where you want to add your thicker lines. Here I want to emphasize that you don't need to go so fast when you're making inks or when you're inking a line. It's best to go slow, a nice slow steady stroke, I guess you could say. When it comes to small details, that's when you should actually use your pen to go fast, but for the most part, just nice slow strong steady strokes is all you need. Here I want to show you how I implement the lasso fill tool. If you watch my videos from the past, you will probably recognize what I'm doing here. I've been doing this process for the longest of time. I love this lasso fill tool, and truthfully, if Clip Studio didn't have it, I don't know. I'm not sure. I would be struggling through these inks. Like seriously, this thing is a lifesaver. It's like one of my favorite tools in the app, truthfully. What's cool about it is the fact that you can use it to actually ink. Like you can ink like the outline like I showed you earlier, but instead of just using a pen to go over the outline, you can use the lasso fill to go over it instead, which is pretty cool. You can also use it to add in small details, which I'm going to show you right here. If you look at the top of where Miss Makeshift is, on the right where my cursor is, you can see I'm adding little specks of dust to the atmosphere to make it more atmospheric, and it adds a pretty detail to it. And for the final tip is speed lines. With this one, you want to use really quick strokes. I like to use rulers for horizontal or vertical lines. Um, it's just easier. The ruler helps you go to one direction, and it gives you a really smooth line setup. So that's pretty much it for that. Just gotta make sure you're going in the direction you want the characters to go, or you want the action that you're portraying to go, and just keep it going like that. Just remember to go have really short strokes, really short and quick strokes. Or sometimes you want to go long. It just really depends on what you're trying to portray. Well, that's it for part one of my process to comic making. Stay tuned for part two, where we dive into the coloring process. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.